What's up, locals? Well, we are back again. Today we do an awesome comparison. This is one that I've been kind of curious about for a little bit now. I've got my pound Rufus over here, putting it up against its probably strongest competitor, which is the Squatch lure. And a huge shout out to Gavin from Limber Disc Golf for letting me borrow this. Truthfully, I got my hands on one a little while ago. We filmed a review and then I lost some footage. So he hooked me up with his bags. We're gonna try to recreate some parts of this that we flubbed up a little bit there. Anyway, these bags are very similar, and I don't think it's a surprise to anyone that there's like some pretty similar design cues in the Squatch lure that come from, at least I think they come from, the pound Rufus. And Squatch, if you're out there and you want to comment or you want to respond, I know you're going to probably tell me that it's something different. You know, it looks like we've had a few of their bags now that look like they're trying to, you know, directly compete from a perspective of like bringing that same quality but in a mass-produced way, which, you know, from a consumer's perspective is fantastic because it typically lowers the price, although it does take the build of these bags out of the United States. And, you know, some people that's really important to, and, you know, some people just want like the best quality for the cheapest price. And I completely get that too. I think what happens is, you know, from our perspective is we kind of form a little bit of a relationship with some of these brands as we're working with them, as we're communicating with them. And it may create, you know, maybe a slight bias towards that brand because, you know, after you're back and forth with someone, when you build a relationship, you know, all of a sudden you have a bit of a, like, you know, connection there, and you want to support and you want to help that brand, especially when they help you. Anyway, I'm going to try my best to keep this as unbiased as possible. This is my bag. Pound did send me this bag for review. Now, no money changed hands, but, you know, they sent me a bag which ended up becoming my favorite bag. So it'll be an interesting comparison to sort of see how these two work. I think the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to take literally everything from my Rufus and I'm going to put it in the lure to kind of get to know this bag. So, pardon the view for a second here, but we're going to switch everything over. Lately, I've been carrying a bag that sees me with about 3 fairways. Well, depends if you count a 6-speed as a fairway. But basically, I've got 3 9s, 3 6s, 3 5s. It's a bit messy in the middle right now. And then I've got my like sort of like approach discs, my throwing putters, and I've got like a couple of utility discs at the end of it here. I can tell already that it feels, let's see if I can get these up here, but basically I can already tell that it feels like I had a little bit more space in my Rufus. This is obviously like just looking at my setup. This bag has been used, and one thing I will say I like about this comparison today is Gavin's been using this bag, so this is not a brand new bag off the shelf. This one's been used. Now, I've probably used my Rufus more than he's used this. I've had this longer. So, you know, this bag, you can even just look at it, you know, it's kind of worked in a little bit. It doesn't look like it's very crisp and new. I think almost you can see that there's like a bit more shape, you know, very vertical. It looks very kind of, you know, this bag's like not tilting, but it just looks like it's been used a little bit. And I don't criticize that necessarily because it's, you know, it's created a bag that fits me and it's very comfortable, but it is kind of worth noting. Okay, up top, we will take our putters. Big difference with these two bags. One is that the pound Rufus has this sort of like slit on the top. It's a big zipper and it does have room to open, and it does open quite a ways. To me, that's more than enough. But the Squatch lure has given you this like opening pocket here, which means that, you know, phenomenal access up top. These discs look like they're swimming in space here. I've got room for probably 2 or 3 more. We'll test that in a minute. Now, one thing that I think people have liked about the lure as well is the symmetry of this bag. This bag, what's happening on one side is the same as what's happening on the other. So there is this symmetry where in the pound Rufus, you have this like one side, you know, serves kind of one function and the other side serves the other. So this side, the pocket comes right down, and the inside of this, obviously it can zip up and you can keep that symmetry look, but you can actually fold down the side here and make, you know, another access for like more discs on like a side pocket here. I've been using this for my winter setup for my glow rounds with my halo from Disc in the Dark. I also have my Kodiak Designs basket light just for playing glow rounds. I'll keep these in here. And then what I'll also do is, because this is my light here, you know, I will just like drop a disc in the side here, you know, and let it become like sort of like my glow oven for my glow rounds. Anyway, I just wanted to sort of see like how this bag holds everything compared to this one. So no mini pocket, no side pockets here, which as you can see right now, I've got a UV flashlight and a hand warmer up here, and then my mini. So getting a little bit of extra storage on the front of this one. This one here, I guess I could just, you know, throw it in there. That's a good spot for a mini there. And, you know, I'm not that familiar yet. So let's take a look inside these side pockets. So yeah, I mean, you've got this like little half pocket right here. And this on my bag currently is where I'm keeping, you know, got a rangefinder. So that rangefinder would go right in there. D-rings up top, which is where I keep my Aqua power bank. Same idea there. And, you know, full depth pocket there for anything else. Now I notice right now, this bag, I think originally came with like an insulated water bottle holder, or, you know, beverage holder. Sort of similar, not the exact same, but something similar. I've been using my water bottle holder on the taller zipped side of my Pound Rufus right now, because I like having, I started out with loving the lower pocket for my water bottles, that for quick access, but then as glow season came around, I liked the idea of using this kind of like as like a glow oven, quick access for holding discs. So I've actually switched this over to the other side, but I know that Squatch gives you, I even think it zips up on top, but it's sort of something similar, and Gavin doesn't have this in his bag right now, so this would normally sit right in the bottom on one of the sides, and you can see that Pound one fits, and it would be, you know, very similar to this in terms of like a drink holder option. All right, let's look at the outside of these zippers. So if I open these up, you've got this Velcro pouch here. So essentially it's giving you like a pretty like long pocket on this side. I'm not sure, I don't know what people are using this for. Now I can Velcro in there to like leave this side open. I guess I can fit a couple discs in the side here, maybe 2 or 3. Now these are putters, these are wider obviously, but I do have room there to keep a couple discs. But I would say that this side pocket here is a little bit tighter to the side than my Pound. I feel like there's more room here. And just to show that to you, again, I'm just using these putters right now to kind of show. Yeah, and even getting those out, it's kind of tight over here because this zips halfway down. That's 3 putters. I could take a 4th putter and probably, yeah, I mean, I can get a 5th. Probably not going to use it like that though. So that's 4 putters in that side. So definitely a little bit wider on the side pockets here. And you know, you do have the space in there, but again, if you're going to put a couple discs in here or something else in here, then you're going to lose. Sorry, I'll show you this actually. So you've got this pocket here, but if you end up putting discs in here, it's going to cut into the space that you have on the inside, if that makes sense. So double Velcro here, so you can either Velcro that in, or if you want the contents of the pocket protected, you can zip that there. And it's the exact same on the other side. Again, lots of D-rings. You've got 2 on this side, 2 on the top. Oh, that's it. So you actually have a couple of bonus D-rings on this side over here. I didn't have it in the opening, but I will often keep my max distance disc retriever in my bag. So, you know, I'm not sure with this bag if there's nothing in there that you could like, you know, fasten it to. You can see on this one here, you've got this black elasticized material that like actually will like hold it directly in there, but there's nothing stopping you. I'll do it on this side for right now, from basically just like zipping it in, and the zippers are very good here. So I wouldn't call it like much of a disadvantage there. Like, is it nice having the elastic to hold the retriever in? Sure, but you know, is it like a huge difference? Not really. Ultimately, it still holds there, so you know, it's serving the purpose. It's giving you, you know, it's giving you that function. And what else did I just notice on this side? Yeah, so you got a little spot inside here just for keys, or I mean, I guess tags or anything like that as well. Typically don't use these little like clips that hold like keys and stuff like that. I use the pockets much more, and I don't know if that's you or not, but that would be my, you know, my take on it. So let's put these back over, see how we're looking. I've got kind of 3 putters up top. I'll put that down the bottom. Yeah, I think another thing that looks kind of like an obvious difference that I just noticed even just from looking at the two is that the window for your discs, the bottom here that like holds everything in, is a little bit lower. Pros and cons: do discs maybe come in and out easier? Maybe, because you're not having to get over like as high of a lip like what I've got over here. But then maybe there's a higher likelihood of them falling out. Feels like the discs are kind of like, you know, coming forward here more, where it felt like they sat in and a little bit deeper on the Rufus. I guess we'll have a look here. Obviously with this pocket not opening completely wide, can I put, yeah, so I can actually, you know, I could treat this side pocket here like my glow oven, the exact same. Take a disc out, throw it down the side here. It's, I mean, you can see it's a little bit tighter on the side here. I prefer like how kind of wide and big this side pocket is on the Rufus. I use this side pocket all the time, especially for glow. Once I kind of had this idea to put my disc in the dark halo down on the side here, now all of a sudden, you know, this has kind of become like my glow box. It's where I keep this kind of bulkier light in here too. Tons of functionality with that. It is worth noting too, if you're not too, you know, up on your pound Rufus here, they've just released recently the convertible Rufus, which basically means what happens on this side is actually available on this side. So right now, this pocket doesn't zip all the way down, but thanks to Cole Redolin and his signature series, he asked for it. Basically, can you mimic this side here? Because I'm sure for him, you know, it gives him the versatility of like more discs. Basically, he can put, you know, more discs in the sides here, and it makes this small bag like that much more functional and versatile. So these pockets, like, can you fit a couple discs in here? You absolutely can, but it's just not quite as wide. And I'm sure you can see, you know, even from like the profile of the bag, you know, this side, again, it's been used, so it's sticking out a little bit more, but you can tell that these bags have a slightly different profile to them. Now, looking at the back, you know, looks like similar material, looks like similar thickness of straps. You can see that my straps, you know, they're showing a little bit of wear there, but it's because I've used it so much. These ones here, one thing that I thought was kind of cool was you've got this strap up top here that if you cinch this strap tight, it actually can cause your, I mean, it's a little bit tight, but it will cause these straps to like kind of stick out versus, so you can actually kind of loosen these off and it will sit flush for like travel or anything like that. But when you're out for your round, you can obviously like kind of tighten these up a little bit. And now all of a sudden you've got straps that stick out. And if you've watched my other videos on my pound bags, I love straps that stick out. I think it's just so much easier to put it on. So this is kind of a cool feature where you can kind of tighten these up so that the straps will stick out. And then the other thing is you've got this like sort of like lower back support here, and it's not very deep. I guess there's like technically a pocket there. I don't really know if I would trust it for like a wallet or keys. When you get old, I have this like little like kind of like, you know, foam like knee pad for like any ground shots. Do I really use it a ton? Not really, like probably more if it's like muddy or if I'm just trying to keep, you know, dry or whatever. This obviously could fit very nicely in there. It's in there nice and solid. I wouldn't think about it again. Like, I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to put my wallet in an open pocket that's just sitting right up against my back. It could probably pop out, but something like this would be like a great thing to just keep, you know, right in there, because I don't care so much about it, but it's a great spot and it's very quick and easy access. So I kind of like, that's a kind of a cool use of that space on the bag. And again, if I go back over here, get that disc in there, Yeah, I mean, you can see everything fits, but it is a little bit, feels like it's more snug on this bag right now. But then again, I have like more space up top for like probably a couple more throwing putters, which, look at that, I have a couple more right there. So, I mean, that's 5 right now. There's still space, but it does get to the point where like, I don't know if it's worth putting like more and more and more discs in there, but the most I fit up top on my bag is a 4, and this bag right now easily has 5 like kind of chunky putters. These are not like thin, you know, you've got a glitch, you've got an old arrow, which is like a big disc as well. So you've got 5 up top there very comfortably. So, you know, maybe you lose a little bit of space down the bottom, but you're gaining more space up top here. You've got more space on the sides on this one. You maybe don't have quite as much space on the sides in this bag. So again, it just kind of comes down to, you know, either what you value in terms of like brand or functionality. Maybe you have like a ton of putters that you carry, you love having that access up top, or maybe you use your like putter pocket on the top of your bag for, you know, your most used driver, as well as your putters, like, you know, quick access kind of stuff. But this is definitely a bigger pocket on the Squatch. You know, I've found purpose for these 2 little side pockets, which at first I just thought like, what is the point of these little spots here? But I've got an extra little UV flashlight, I've got an extra hand warmer for winter. Now, a lot of us here aren't playing cold winter rounds, but I've loved having these little pockets for these things on my bag. They don't really have like a quick access spot on this bag, you know, unless I'm using one of these side spots like here. I feel like most people are going to want to keep this pocket zipped up. Maybe you just leave it zipped open like a little bit so you can still like access your, you know, your rangefinder and things like that. And maybe on the other side, I just leave the top of it open again, just a little bit so that I can get quick access to my flashlight and my hand warmer. They're different bags. They're more different than I first thought they were. When I first, you know, saw the image of this bag, I thought, oh my gosh, that looks exactly like a Rufus. They are doing different things. I appreciate the functionality of the pound bag as it fits me. I don't carry, you know, a ton of discs, and I don't need like 5 discs up here in this putter pocket here. In terms of build and fabric, you know, they feel very similar. I will leave a link also down below. Never good business to leave a link to someone else's video, but Viridisk did a comparison like this one, and she talks about the fabrics and goes into a little bit more detail. I'm going at this from the perspective of like functionality, like how it suits me or what I see in terms of like advantages or disadvantages. Both of these have built in like a really high strap, which I love for grabbing your discs like off the ground. Because these bags are smaller and sit lower to the ground, having this like high strap is great for picking them up. Stay tuned if you're interested in seeing that convertible Rufus. We do have plans to get one on the channel in the not so distant future. So if you're curious to see, you know, a detailed review of a convertible Rufus, that video is coming. If you have any questions about the lore and the Rufus, please leave them down in the comments. I want to say a huge thank you to Gavin from Limber Disc Golf for hooking me up with this bag for this look today. Stay tuned for more content as always, and this is Local. We are local.